Elsewhere this evening, early match, Real Madrid were 2 down against Bruges at half-time, but came back to get a point. Paris Saint-Germain beat Galatasaray. Icardi with the only goal of the game. Red Star Belgrade, the other side in Tottenham and Bayern Munich's group, came from 1 down to beat Olympiacos 3-1. Shakhtar Donetsk won in the 95th minute earlier on today. 2 goals for Manchester City, beating Dynamo Zagreb. Sterling and Phil Foden, the goal scorers in that one. Emphatic victory for Juventus. Ronaldo scoring the 3rd of those 3 goals for them against Leverkusen, and Atletico Madrid won away from home at Lokomotiv Moscow. You can see every goal and every talking point from tonight's Champions League matches with Matt Smith in about half an hour's time. Matt?
Thanks, Gary. Much to discuss with Michael Owen in half an hour or so. More goals than agendas for Mopo and Spurs, as you well know by now. What about the Desmond for Zizou at the Bernabeu? Not enough, one would think. And for Pep and City, lots of huff and puff against Dinamo Zagreb, but difficult to blow the Croatian house down. It's all in about half an hour.
I still can't believe quite what I've seen this evening.
Crazy. Great game of football, yeah. and the way that this Bayern team played, really, I mean, they had off our seats.
If you were a neutral, which perhaps some of us are in the studio and some of us aren't, that would have been highly enjoyable.
Well, it was for me. I loved it. I just love seeing good football. I was in here jumping, screaming, just enjoying what was on show, and mainly the wide players. I just love to see wide players who can do unbelievable movement to get on the ball, move defenders, and then play and run. And they found space, and when they got in, they were clinical.
I don't know whether you recall it, but actually Tottenham took the lead.
It did. Well, they started very well. They were on the front foot. I mean, look at the pressing straight away from the first whistle. They were after them, and it looked like, you know, it was going to be their night. And it was a great finish from Son, who started very, very lively.
It's like the third chance he'd had, wasn't it, in the opening 10 minutes?
It was. I mean, they started so much on the front foot. And it was a great little pass and a superb finish. But I felt Tottenham shot themselves in the foot.
In what way?
In this game. I just felt they were isolated. I think right from the first whistle, I said that the fullbacks were going to have a long evening unless they doubled up. I mean, the wingers were... Coman and Gnabry were running riot, and they were for the full 90 minutes. I don't know why it wasn't spotted earlier and nipped in the bud.
I think every single ball, if you got put under pressure as a Bayern player in midfield, in central areas, without even looking, you knew you had an out ball, which was a fullback or even the wide man. So when that was happening, I don't understand how Pochettino didn't react to that, because it makes it so easy to beat the press for a man in a red shirt today. For us, it was glaring to see.
It's happening time and time again down the flanks, and it wasn't addressed early enough.
2 Bayern goals in that first half, 2 exquisite finishes. They played some sumptuous football at times.
Top class. The goals from... First of all, that was a feature, running in behind. That was a big one as well. It's just too easy there. But the finish, this touch from Kimmich, set, chop and whip, it meant every bit of that. It's an absolutely brilliant goal. The goals in the first half, that is...
Any chance to keep it all?
0%.
Yes.
I don't think so. It's just too good. It's precision. What's a flick from Lewandowski? That's our PlayStation. And look how many bodies Bayern had there. Tottenham kept turning over the ball. How about this for a finish? Bang.
You can analyse Tottenham's deficiencies as much as you like, but sometimes you just got to enjoy the football. At Munich tonight, Bayern were just electric. It was a devastating finishing.
I keep saying it, but this is a team in transition that people were saying they've lost all their big players. They're not the same. And they've shown everyone they better wake up.
I think at the start of the season, not too many people have tipped Bayern Munich for the Champions League final or winning it this season. I think that might have changed this evening.
Well, they've put a marker down, definitely, to come away to a stadium like this with a team that finished with a Champions League finalist last year and destroy them like this. Wow.
Is Serge Gnabry better than we thought he was?
Yes.
Well, certainly better than West Brom and perhaps Arsenal thought
I think the German manager said the other day he's one of the first names on the team sheet for the German national team. And that's the level he's played at for last season, and we saw it tonight. He just blew everyone away. It's running off the ball. That's what they did brilliantly. They played 1 and 2 touches. They've gone behind Spurs all game. And how about this? Just runs at the defenders, leaves them for dead, and the finishing was exquisite.
He destroyed Aurier. Look at Aurier diving in.
Why is he diving in, though? I just don't understand. He's got to stay on his feet.
He does make mistakes.
As a defender, I feel that sometimes when you're cheating yourself, you don't want to run back. Aurier's quick enough to run back and get goal side because he's very, very sharp.
Yeah.
But he dives in and he makes Serge Gnabry's mind up there. This is typical of the game.
How many
today.
of these mistakes did Tottenham make?
A lot.
In possessions. You can't do it. Look at the Bayern there, pounce.
I know everyone looks at Winks there, but if you look at Aurier's position in that sequence there, I mean, he's running ahead of the ball when the ball's just turned over. I mean, it's almost comical, but again, clinical finishing from this guy.
I think Aurier's been left exposed 1v1 a lot today.
He's not someone you want to leave exposed.
He has to do better.
Yeah.
Has to.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Like juxtaposition of enjoying the magical football of Bayern Munich, but at the same time, some of the football from Tottenham is lamentable.
I think at this level, to lose 7-2 with the squad that they have in this stadium, it's just not acceptable. They're too good to go down. I know Bayern played absolutely brilliant, but you can't afford to lose. At some point, you got to shut up shop, be tight, and they never did that. Actually, and Ndombele went off and they fell apart. Yeah. They literally did.
We all thought that was a strange
he must be injured. I think he's the one who was probing in the first half. And there was other players on the pitch who I thought like Dele probably could have come off before him, where it would have been a straight swap with him and Eriksen maybe. But
Tottenham got themselves slightly back into the game with a penalty, of course. First and foremost, did we think it was a penalty?
Yeah, it was a penalty for me. Rose gets there first, and there's contact. So I think in that situation, it's whoever gets the ball first.
Yeah.
And Rose gets his foot to it, and he's touched. So a definite penalty, and there's no better penalty taker for me in world football, I'd say, than Harry Kane.
He rips him in at the moment, doesn't he? Keeper goes the right way and still has no chance.
I think there was hope, and I think the manager thought there was hope there, hence the substitutions.
Right, Eriksen,
positive substitution.
Eriksen, they were positive, but you can say they're positive or they're naive. They were so good attacking Bayern, and it left a lot of holes, and that was exploited.
I mean, the last 15 minutes, if you're a Tottenham fan, must have been pretty hard to watch.
Well, especially if you got to a Champions League final last season, that didn't look like a team that had been there in the final. They just fell apart, and I think at this level, can't happen, shouldn't happen. You know, at some point you have to shut up shop. But Bayern.
Yeah, Gnabry again, his hat-trick in I think it was about the 83rd minute that they actually scored their 5th goal.
This is great. This is the movement here to get on the ball. Again,
first
Aurier.
Touch. Wow.
I'm not quite sure where Aurier's going.
But the first touch, the second touch, and then the finish was just beautiful to see. And the way he slides it past Lloris. But look at the movement. In off the side, he doesn't have to do too much to be fair, but he runs from out to in. It's just beautiful wing play. The way that they must be coaching these young guys, Gnabry and Coman, you know what? It might not even be the coaching. It's watching Ribéry and watching Robben for them years maybe, and they've been sponges and learnt off that.
But we look at in the build-up, the turnover of the ball there.
Yeah, again. I mean, that was a feature of the play today. What a ball!
But look at this,
finish.
The goals are every goal is breathtaking.
We should have a goal of the game competition. Which is your favourite goal?
I do love this one because the finish,
look at the flick,
and that pass,
and then the finish. He's just caressed that into the corner of the net. It's just devastating finishing.
Number 7.
Turnover again.
Turnover possession. That's 4 goals.
All of them have come from that. All of them have come from Spurs giving the ball away.
But you give the ball away at this level, you can get away with it sometimes.
They hit the corners, don't they?
But you give the ball away at this level, they show you here, punished straight away. There's no giving up here on it. He turns one thing in his mind to get his shot off. Great strike, side netting.
How will a defeat like this, a humiliating defeat, a record-breaking home defeat, affect Tottenham going forward?
That's what I said before the game. I think this is a pivotal game for them because they've gone into the lead in a lot of matches this season and then capitulated. And I thought today they could set a marker down. I thought Dele Alli could have had a good game and set his season alight, but I mean it's worked in completely the opposite manner. I mean it's a huge crushing blow to them, and they will suffer. Hopefully not, but hopefully that they will suffer a hangover from this.
So the problem is no matter how they start a game now, they go a goal up in a game. Normally that gives confidence and that spreads through a team when you get a goal and through the stadium, especially at home. But now they're going a goal up and you just feel a bit of tension come through the place because they've given up 2-goal leads countless times this season, and they've lost games from that or drawn games. They're dropping points, and so that to change that they need a big result. And I agree with Crouchy. Tonight was a great chance to put that marker down, but they've failed that miserably.
What do they do at the weekend? What's the mental?
One thing I would say is I hope they don't play out from the back, because today they got caught 4 times, and at times you want to play, but Bayern played safe. You know, Neuer, every time he touched it, he had an option on. I think at times Tottenham were trying to play, and it wasn't really on. So I think if you're Tottenham, maybe the two up the pitch. Maybe they needed one more midfield, so they had a different angle, or the out ball or somewhere. It didn't look like the out ball was on.
Got to protect the fullbacks more.
Well, they need, because they had the two up. I felt sorry for the fullbacks because they literally had 1v1 against two of the best athletes probably in the Champions League. So it's I don't think they'll be as confident playing out from the back on the weekend.
I've just had a little word in my rather large ear that Spurs are currently still in a meeting, and it could go on for some time, as you would expect after something like that.
Yeah, it's just, you know, you can't get beat 7 at home. I don't care who's against, you know, Bayern Munich or whoever. You can't get beat 7, and I mean these are top players, international players, and you can't.
It's a time to get together, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we've all been there. We got beat United 6-1 at home to Man City, our arch rivals. That feeling is a horrendous feeling, and as a player, all you want is a game to come round. You'll have a game tomorrow. You take that to be able to get that feeling and wash it. It won't go away completely, but you get the opportunity to go out there and put on a performance and get a result to revitalise not only your team and the staff, but the fans as well.
You need the characters amongst the players at this point, don't you? You need to perhaps go back to your go-to players.
But people have been questioning the character right from the start of the season. Questioning players that wanted to go away, the Erikssens, the Vertonghen's, and people not signing contracts. And a result like this is only going to ask more questions. Yeah.
It wasn't. It was. You could have seen the signs that towards the end of the last season. I know they made the Champions League final, but you know there were signs that their form was starting to dip at that stage.
Yeah, maybe their away form has been a disaster.
Particularly away from
home. They've been making mistakes in the build-up. So I think there is issues, but they're still 3 points off fourth place. Yeah. You know, so I know it hasn't been the best start of the season, but they've had some injuries. But today is the biggest blow in a very, very long time, because I know Bayern Munich is a really good side, but Tottenham are much better than that. Yeah. And if you're a team that good, you can't make that many mistakes in the build-up But to be fair, Bayern were pretty clinical.
Yeah, Bayern were clinical. Bayern were brilliant. Bad night for Tottenham. We'll try and pull Mauricio Pochettino out of the dressing room where he's in crisis talks with his players, of course. It's been a tough night for the Tottenham Hotspur manager and for their supporters. Well, good of him to front up and saying all the right things, I suppose, but he felt like Tottenham were the better side in the first half an hour. You beg to differ?
I don't agree. I think
they had a great first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think motivation isn't their issue. I think tactically today, I think was where they got it wrong. I think even within the first 2 minutes, they had a chance on goal, and that was beating the press, getting out, and then running in behind. And here it is now. You can see it on the screen. This is from a throw on deep in the half. No pressure really. They get out, they beat that initial press, and they're in on goal within three passes.
Minute 25 into the game, real.
Yeah. So this was. It's not. You know,
the first half was riddled with this. We were saying this is what a great first half that's been. That's only because there were two open teams playing against each other.
Yeah, it was a basketball match in the first half.
Exactly.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, Tottenham's next game is Brighton away. That's live on BT Sport on Saturday lunchtime. Big ask for them. They're going to have to really dig in.
Big game. I mean, that's a game that they're expected to win. I think they've got Watford after that and Red Star. So this is a big period for Tottenham now to turn it around. I think sometimes you're the best player in the world when you don't play. I think Eric Dyer will be sitting there on the bench. Yeah. You know, if the back four need protection, he's a ready-made replacement. I think he might have a part to play now.
A line on your former club, Owen. They made a bit of a statement this evening.
Brilliant performance, as good as I've seen them play in the Champions League in a very, very long time. Every aspect they were world class today, really clinical.
Yeah, and Tottenham, it really is a seminal moment now, isn't it? This could go one way or the other now.
And like we said, they need characters in that dressing room to step up now and be leaders and bring the group through. Brighton, a tough away game, tough assignment. Brighton are playing decent football now. I saw them against Newcastle. But this Spurs side have the players to turn it around and to actually go and get a result in a place like that. And they need to start straight away.
They certainly do. Owen, thanks very much, Peter. Rio, thanks as ever. Don't forget the highlights will follow us. But here it's been a terrible night for Tottenham and a great night for Gnabry. Good night.